Hey guys, welcome back. So I know I said that I'd be posting about once a week, and I know that that has not been true. Life got crazy, and it's been about 2 months since I uploaded a video. The last video was a fundraising video where I filmed a fundraiser. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. I'll post a link in the box below. I'm back with another video. And so this one is going to be my why BSSM video. So basically the school I'm going to is in California. It's called Bethel's Supernatural School of Ministry. You can go look it up. You can check it out. It's easy to find and access. I'm not going to really go into too much detail on the school itself. They're finished. Other than why I want to go here. So I first was introduced to Bethel Church when I was like 11 years old, I think. I'm 18 now, so it's been about 7 years in the making. I was introduced to Bethel when I was 11 through their worship, actually, through their music. If you don't know, Bethel is a huge church, thousands and thousands of people. They do tours all over the country or all over the world when there's not a pandemic going on. I absolutely love their worship music. I first fell in love with Stephanie Gretzinger when she's no longer a part of Bethel, but when she was, I absolutely loved her. I still do. I found out about her, female worship leader. I loved the way that she did what she did. I was inspired by it. I wanted to be like that. I still want to be like her. For my 13th birthday, I decided I wanted to go see Bethel in concert. They were having a worship night that they were hosting in Pennsylvania, and I wanted to go. So I told my mom, I was like, I want to go. So see if you can get tickets because that's what I want to do for my birthday. So she bought me tickets as a birthday present, and we went. We made a whole day out of it. We had dinner, we went shopping, we got coffee, we did all the fun things. Then that night we went to the worship night. So it started at like 7 or something like that. So we get there, and I was a little nervous, honestly. I was actually like nervous to go because I had never been in an atmosphere like that. I really didn't know what to expect. Like I'd been in a worship service before at church, but I'd never been in anything like this with like a few hundred people in this building, like sitting there for worship night. It starts and it opens up with one act, like one set of people, and it was people that I'd never been introduced to before. I didn't really know who they were, but I love them now. Their names are Jonathan, David, and Melissa Helzer. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. They are incredibly anointed and incredibly gifted. So it started out with them, and then they did like a little almost intermission type thing. And then it transferred to the second half of the night, which was the Bethel worship team. And Stephanie Gretzinger was there. That was the main reason why I wanted to do this worship night, is because I knew she was going to be there. So she starts singing, and automatically I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Stephanie Gretzinger. This is my girl, man. Like I love her. So she's singing, and they sang like a few songs before they got to this moment, this build up. So the song that she was singing was King of My Heart. And if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. I'll post a link down in the box below. King of My Heart is my all-time favorite worship song, and it will always, always, always hold a special place in my heart because of this night. So I get cold chills when I'm talking about it. So she was singing this song, and she had hit the end of it. She had already sang the whole song once through. So she was in one of these moments, and I can remember she was on the ground in literally a fetal position, like with her face on the floor, and a mic up to her mouth. All of a sudden, she just started singing, "Let the Songbirds Arise." In that moment, I knew without a doubt that I heard the voice of the Lord. And he was like, that is what I want you to do. I'm gonna cry. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. But he told me, he's like, that's what I want you to do. I have called you to be a songbird. I have called you to sing my praises. I have called you to lead other people in worship. This is what I've called you to do. And in that moment, I sat there and I said yes. I was like, okay, if that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. So I didn't even really, at that point in my life, I didn't even really understand worship and the way that it worked. I had really just been introduced to real worship. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what he was calling me to do. I didn't even really know that I could sing yet. I didn't know half of what he's shown me now. And I think that's the beautiful thing about walking with Christ is you may not know anything. You're not going to know anything. But yet he will share beautiful truths with you and then connect the rest of the pieces of the puzzle along the way. It's an adventure because you never really know what he's going to do. You never really know where he's going to take you, what he's going to tell you to do, who you're going to meet, gifts you're going to discover that you have that he's placed inside of you. You never know. That night I said yes, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And ever since that moment, it has stuck with me. I am a songbird. Like, this is what God wants me to do. That gift of worship that he has placed inside of me, that gift of being a prophetic worship leader, being able to hear his voice and sing it out onto others, being able to connect with him intimately through worship. I have never once wavered in that. I've never once been insecure in that area of my life because I know without a shadow of a doubt that it is from the Lord, that it is what I'm meant to be, what I'm meant to do. I don't have any questions about it. Everything I've done up to this point in my life has been to further that gift, to stretch me in that area, to teach me things about myself so that I can grow and become stronger to get to this point. That same night is the first time I heard about Bethel School. So I heard about it and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I love Bethel. Maybe that would be a good idea, because at that point in my life, you know, I was 13, I was in 8th grade. I hadn't really thought about college much, didn't think anything about it. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, you know, whatever. But I didn't really think anything about it until I hit like my high school years. So I started really like looking into BSSM at like my sophomore year of high school, I think. And the more that I read about it, the more testimonies I listened to, the more I grew closer to God, the more Bethel came out with more music and I listened to more sermons from them, the more I was like, this might be my place. It'd be at the end of my junior year of high school, at the beginning of summer 2020, I was like, okay, I need to really start thinking about college and what I'm going to do. So I had like a list of like 6 schools in mind, and BSSM was my number one. And I was like, this is really where I want to go. And my mom was like, if you really want to go to BSSM and you feel like that's where God's calling you to, apply. When the applications come out, apply. If you get in, then you'll know it's God. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to waste my money applying to these other schools because that's not really where I want to go. So the applications for BSSM came out in November of last year, of 2020. So the day that the applications came out, I applied. And part of the application process is that you schedule an interview. So I filled out my application and then I scheduled my interview with an advisor for the next day. And I was nervous. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is my dream school. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to be crushed, but I'll figure it out. So I signed up for my interview. It was like at 5:00 at night or something like that. So I'm sitting in my office with my computer, ready to get on this Zoom call. And I'm sitting there and I'm just praying. I'm like, God, let them see me for who I really am. Let them see you in me. Let them see my heart. Let them see my hunger to know you more. And I got on my interview and I was like my nerves left me completely. I was like 100% myself. I was confident and I knew exactly what to say in the moments. And I know that it was the Holy Spirit helping me. When I had originally signed up for this interview, they said you should know within 2 to 3 weeks after your interview whether or not you've been accepted or not. So I'm in my interview. I'm answering all the questions that he's asking me, my advisor's asking me, and then we get to the end and he goes, so I have some good news. And I was like, okay, like, what's this good news? And he said, we can officially say that you've been accepted to BSSM. And I was not prepared to get accepted right there on the spot. So I was just like, oh my gosh. Okay, thank you. Like, I just kept thanking him so much. And he was laughing at me. He's like, okay. But so I get off my interview. And the first person that I told was actually my little brother. And I was like, Chance, I just got accepted. And he goes, what? And I'm like, they just accepted me right there at the end of my interview. And he was so happy for me. And he hugged me and called my mom because she wasn't home. And I was like, Mom, I got accepted to BSSM. And so that night, like, it's so crazy because it's something that I've dreamed about since I was 13, going to BSSM. It's been my dream school for 5 years, and it's here. It's happening. I got accepted. I'm moving to California in like 4 months. It's surreal. It's literally a dream come true. I'm living out this dream that God has placed inside of me. And, you know, people, you look at it in the natural, moving from one side of the country to the other side of the country, and it looks scary. It looks daunting. It's like one of those things that doesn't seem comprehensible. And yeah, I should be nervous, but I'm not, because I know that it's God. I know that it's his plan. I know that this is what he wants for me. And I know that this is a launch pad to the rest of my life. This is just the beginning. Graduating high school, it's an end of a chapter. It's not the end of the book. My life is truly just beginning. Everything that God has called me to is truly just beginning. And I can't even think or like comprehend everything that he's going to do and everything that we're going to do together. Places I'll travel, people I'll meet, songs I'll write, all these things. I can't even begin to imagine everything that he has for me. So yeah, there's a little bit of a backstory as to why I chose BSSM and to why I'm going. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I will be linking my last video in the box below. I'll be linking the song King in My Heart below, and I'll link BSSM's website in the box below as well. And then there's a link down there to all my social media platforms and my Venmo, my PayPal, if you feel led to give to my future, because right now I'm still raising money for school. I have about 4 months left, and I still have almost all of my dorm to pay off. And I am still trying to get a car. So the link in the if you feel led to donate will be in the box below as well. If you're not able to financially contribute, please pray for me. I would really greatly appreciate it. Prayers are so important, and I could not be where I am without the prayers and support of people. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.